hope everybody is ready for this new Guilty Gear lore drop I'm about to drop on you guys. I know,
No.
I hope you guys like Guilty Gear lore getting dropped on you. There was a character from Guilty Gear Xrd, the previous release, that was a background character in one of the stages, and he was just a sheriff that was eating burgers, and the burger bag was like, it had an infinity symbol on it, because they would just loop the animation of him eating the burgers. And I'm almost positive he then went on to become the newest announced character for Guilty Gear Strive, Gold Lewis Dickinson, who is the... what the fuck is he?
He's the Secretary of Defense.
No, he's not. He is the Secretary of Absolute Defense.
You're right. Of Absolute Defense of the United States of America.
God, what a legend. I wish I could go from eating an infinite amount of burgers to then becoming, like, I don't even know how to describe. This character is an alien weeaboo. Like, he loves Area 51 and cryptids. And so now he's the Secretary of Absolute Defense, and his weapon is a coffin that he took from Area 51 containing a classified alien, and the alien's
like
hand...
his homie.
Yeah, the alien's hand comes out of the coffin to, like, punch and attack, and his taunt is the greatest. Like, he puts the coffin down, and the alien's arm pops out with a mirror so that he can comb his own hair, and it's so sick. But the reason that I bring this up is because me and Franz have decided... Well, I thought I couldn't decide between if his name should be Gold D. Lewis Dickinson or Gold Lewis D. Dickinson, and Franz hit me with the ¿Por qué no las dos?
Hey, who said we only get one choice, you know? Like, I don't know, man. God gave me two hands for a reason, brother.
Gold D. Lewis D. Dickinson.
the
double
first D's.
The will of double D's.
Double D's nuts.
Double D's nuts. That stupid... Well, I call it stupid, but it's like it's ruined the D's nuts jokes for me, or like the Ligma. It's the Ligma one. It's that stupid Mr. Manhattan meme. That shit.
No, fuck you.
Where he's like, hey, did you know Steve Jobs died of Ligma? And then Rorschach is like, who the fuck is Steve Jobs? Ligma balls. And he erases him from...
It's the funniest fucking shit. Fuck you.
Like, anytime I hear one of those jokes now, like, that's all I could think about. Just fucking Mr. Manhattan blue asshole just raising his hand and, like, wiping me off of this planet.
I feel like the Dr. Manhattan meme has it's the same genre as the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, the Mickey holding a towel to fucking Donald, I think. Hypocrite that you are.
Yeah.
Will you fight or will you perish like a dog?
I think I have that picture on my fucking computer. Hold on. I have to. Yeah, here it is. Hypocrite that you are. You trust the chemicals in your brain to tell you they are chemicals. All knowledge is ultimately based on that which we cannot prove. Will you fight or will you perish like a dog?
It's the same exact genre. It doesn't necessarily have the same aggressive tone as this, but the Dr. Manhattan one is like, they're cousins, you know, not brothers, cousins.
Not brother, cousins, yeah. Not brothers, but cousins. Oh god. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately for you guys, this is not a Guilty Gear or a D's Nuts history podcast.
Yet.
I would love to just... Like, I don't even know what the scope of that shit would be, but I would love somebody to make, like, a deep dive in, like, a history, a retelling of the oral history of, like, the D's Nuts jokes. Because I know for sure, we joke about it now, like, the philosophers, like, fucking, I know what's his face. I know Plato hit somebody with that. I know he hit somebody with one of those jokes, and they lost their damn minds probably.
What you're saying is that 50 years from now, there's gonna be some fucking class about like the 2010 to 2000 whenever the fuck, and then a fucking like anthropology professor will be out here sitting. So the soy jack meant that the person who held this argument, it represented that that person was the loser, the outcast, whilst the Chad in the image represented the to the author the correct belief.
Yes. Oh god, history is in our hands, folks. We can make that a reality. I want a Tim Rogers 6-hour video talking about like the first time D's nuts was ever used.
What I really want is just like, I guess it's the know your meme equivalent of podcasts, but I want the quality of the podcast to be similar to Fall of Civilizations. I believe that's the podcast. It's like a several hour podcast that like each episode is a whole ass complete well-researched documentary.
Oh, geez,
documentary.
Yeah.
Why did I say that weird? But like, and recently, like in the last couple of months, the producer for this stuff has been doing like video documentaries based on the podcast. So shit. The scope of this shit is fucking huge. I want a know your meme in this exact format. This exact seriousness.
Yes. But alas, we're not that podcast. That time hasn't come yet. We are Paramecia Fancast, a One Piece fancast where we review the latest chapters of One Piece and have different One Piece related discussions every single week. My name is John.
My name is Franz.
And yeah, it's a break week because the fucking the stupid thing that's worse than the X Games is on.
Literally the worst version of the X Games.
Yeah. No, Olympics, look, they're cool, I guess. But like, would I rather see Tony Hawk? Like, I think back to the X Games. Like, I remember seeing one of the X Games on like ESPN, like whatever it was.
Yeah,
when I was a child, and I was like, dude, this is sick. Like, they're just like, it's like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but like for real, and they're like winning like medals for this. And then come to find out that everyone, all the normies are like, oh, that's not real. This is real. And then I look, and it's just like a whole bunch of people debating, quote unquote. What was the headline? Exactly how Japanese Naomi Osaka is, and then that American runner that got banned for smoking weed. Off. Yeah, smoking
in
weed
a state
while not
where it's legal.
Yeah, in a state where it's legal, and then like Megan Rapongi or whatever her name is, the soccer player, like just blatantly admits in some interview, like, "Oh yeah, I use like CBD oils and stuff," and like nothing.
Dude, it's absolute fucking disappointment at like.
All I'm saying is in the X Games, if Tony Hawk came up, did a fucking ollie, and then they were like, Tony Hawk, can we interview? Pulls out a blunt and ripped that bad boy. Dude, he would get a medal just for that.
Sick. Just for that.
Yeah,
dude,
sick.
Honestly, like, skateboarding is one of those sports that honestly could be co-ed. Should be. I was watching it today while I got the second jab. I'm literally getting a fever as I'm recording this.
We're on a
quite a tight schedule.
What's the we're on the half an isotopes like Half-Life right now. Like
we're the moment like I lose another single fucking neutron, I'm fucking gone.
Oh god. But no, yeah. Skating, like X Games, skating and shit, like
It's such a diverse world too. And like skaters are like so like don't get me wrong, like I understand the like image of skaters and like that it's like a boys club or this or that, but from what I've seen, like I'm no skater or nothing, but from what I've seen, from what I gather, it is like pretty fucking diverse as a community. Whereas like you've got the fucking French people in the IOC out here fucking being like, black people, no thank you. Because there was a whole swimming shit with the fucking, the soul caps that people were like sitting here like, it's like technically like, it's like a style of hair that like, you know, black people can like braid theirs into. I don't know if braid is the appropriate term, but like it's like a specific traditional like hairstyle like that.
Yeah.
And everyone that was just like sitting there was like, this probably put swimmers at a disadvantage, honestly. And the IOC was still like, nope, you can't do it. No.
Yeah. Gives you
like,
fake advantage. What? Like, dog.
I don't even know if that was their reasoning. I don't know if they gave one. I'm just kind of bewildered that they're like,
I'm just memeing. They might just be racist.
They probably. Don't even fucking get me started on the JOC, the Japanese Olympic Committee. Because, like, boy howdy, this whole fucking... So, okay.
I was about to say I'm not going to get you started.
But no. I got myself started. I won't go too ham, though. There's a couple of things that I've got beef with. There's a lot to have beef with, but there's like large broad stroke stuff. The biggest thing for me is the Japanese ideology of what it means to be Japanese. Japan claims to follow a quote unquote one drop of blood rule, where if someone in your lineage happens to have a drop of blood, of Japanese blood, then you are considered to be Japanese. They claim that. But if you like actually look at how they act through and act upon that, they do supply and do offer like, you know, children of Japanese descendancy to like the same rights and the same like social, what's it called? Like healthcare and shit and like access, just general access, same shit between Japanese descendants and like whatever Japanese means.
Yeah.
But like there are hurdles and hoops to go through if you don't look Japanese. So this brings up like, okay, what is Japanese then? Then they start going and try to define it like quote unquote historically, anthropologically. And by that, I mean, there's like this whole theory that like Japan is ethnically homogenous. There is just one singular Japanese ethnicity, which is completely false. The main thing that people think is that like, oh, the Yamato Japanese that came from the southish and came on up and took over Japan, Lord knows how long ago it actually happened, probably around the year 600 AD. So the Yamato people are like the quote-unquote Japanese, right?
Yeah.
But in Okinawa, there's the Ryukyuans who quote-unquote joined Japan by their own will. Like, apparently, the story that I've heard from the Japanese side is that the king of the Ryukyu Islands, now Okinawa, was like begging Japan a couple hundred years ago to join Japan. And then Japan kind of just forgot about them till World War II and was like, oh, hey, we can like station shit here. Sick. That's the story I know of, which kind of sounds like bullshit. But on the other hand, all the way up in the north, you have the fucking Ainu people. And the Ainu people are just straight up like, you can see them and you could be like, okay, yeah, they're probably East Asian. But there's like a lot of these like, there's some fucking term. It's like primary identifiers or some shit that like, like a good example would be for me being like, Central American descent, like I tan real easy. That's like one of those like indicators, quote unquote. It's not like tried and true. It's just an indicator. But like Ainu people are generally like, in a certain sense, I guess hairier. They get beards and shit. Full on fucking beards. They also like, the women tattoo themselves too. It's like this whole thing. But like the Ainu people were supposed to perform during the opening ceremony. And in February this year, they were like, actually, nah, you guys, no way. And they like really didn't give a reason. They were like, oh, like there's like no time or whatever. When like Japan also has the audacity to say that the theme of the Olympics this time around is diversity and harmony, when like you're literally like excluding one of your only like indigenous groups. Mind you, Japan recognized the Ainu literally like 10 years ago, legally.
Oh, yikes.
So it's no surprise around. That's my beef with the Olympics. God, that took a long time to explain. I'm sorry, kind of.
You know who wouldn't do any of that? Tony Hawk. Oh, God. It's also not a Tony Hawk Fancast. Oh, actually, the day I find out Tony Hawk is into fucking One Piece, he's getting over.
We're gonna get Tony Hawk in.
Yo, can you imagine if we scored fucking Tony Hawk?
Dude, like,
I wouldn't even be mad if he came out and was like, yeah, like, One Piece kinda sucks. I'd be like, hey, whatever,
man. You know what? You're the boss, man. Hell yeah.
How about them ollies, though?
Dude, or, actually, could you imagine if Tony Hawk was into air gear?
Dude, if Tony Hawk was into air gear, that'd be fucking funny as hell.
There's air gear, and then there's that new...
There's some new anime that's like specifically about skateboarding.
Skate, with an 8, the Infinity. Yeah. It's basically Free again. Free the swimming again. Anime.
Yeah.
Just again. Is the image that the fandom, from what I've seen, has shown to me.
Hey, nice. I'm down with that. See, I see skate and all I can think of is straight the Infinity, like STR8 the Infinity.
I thought you were gonna say skate or die.
Oh, that too. I was gonna bring that up when you were talking about the skating community being inclusive, because I was like, yeah, like from what I know, there's only 2 rules. It's skate or die. You either skate or you die.
It can't be more clean cut than that.
Oh, I want to skate, but I'm not sure because, like, I'm a straight white male, or I'm trans. Like, I don't know if I'll be inclusive. No, shut the hell up. It's skate or die, dude. You either skate or you die.
Which means, theoretically, if you continue skating perpetually, if you do not get off that board, you live forever. See, I'm choosing die. I'm choosing die. I know it's not explicit as to when it'll happen, but I know that, see, it's Schrodinger's skater.
It's symbolism.
If the skater is still on the board, the skater's alive. If the skater gets off the board, the skater dies. I know that I will for sure just die, completely croak if I fall off a skateboard, like as I am now.
just burn up into ash like Thanos at the end of it.
I just turned to dust.
As soon as your foot leaves the board, just dust. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't even know how to transition from that, but I wanted to talk about, because we are on a break week. Oh, that's what it was. We're on a break week because of the Olympics, and I forgot. But, like, I thought we would for sure have a chapter, because July 22nd, I think, was the official 24th birthday.
Or 23rd, I don't remember.
I could search it up right now. I believe it was July 22nd, 1997.
So yeah.
One Piece turned 24 years old. It can almost rent a car in the United States.
It's so close.
It's so close. It wishes it could, but it's so close. And you know, they actually check for that. Like, I thought it would just be like a fucking meme. Like, oh, whatever. But like, I rented a car when I went to Chicago like a couple years back, and like the shit I had to fill out for that car rental, I was like, yo, like, what is this? Like, what?
Dude, I'm fucking worried because I might go to Oklahoma for Thanksgiving, and I'm thinking about like renting a car to go up there, and just to not put miles on my car.
Yeah.
And
actually, renting the car wasn't that bad. Like the thing, it's just like filling out all the crap beforehand. I was like, yo, what is going on, bro?
Like registering yourself.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's crazy. Like, part of me gets it, but like, part of me just doesn't either.
Yeah.
Like, what's the age? 26?
I think it's 25. No, it is 25. It's 25. They're 1 year away. One Piece is.
Happy birthday, One Piece.
Happy birthday, One Piece. Happy birthday, One Piece. I have nothing really else to bring up about that. Well, wait, no, there was something I was going to bring up, but I'm forgetting now. I'm getting stage fright now that I'm on the air, on the digital airwaves. Fuck, what was it? They had, because we didn't really talk about it last week, but they had a new chapter of Shokugeki no Sanji.
Oh, it was good.
And God, like, if they just keep doing that, if they could just keep doing that, I don't care how long it takes between the chapters, but if we could just keep getting those fairly consistently, I like that manga.
Dude, it's like really good. It's also a really nice way to just revisit stuff.
Yeah. I honestly really like I just like that kind of shit. Like like world building and like getting stories of the Straw Hats and characters like outside of the main story. So I mean, we've talked about it before. Like, the closer we get to like the end game of all this stuff, like the less and less time we're probably gonna have for like, I mean, we're gonna have shenanigans with the crew, but like, I feel like it's not gonna be like, it's not gonna be the same, you know? Like, we're not gonna get like them. We're not gonna get a scene of them literally just goofing off for the sake of goofing off. Like, we're so close to the end and learning all this stuff. Yeah, not in the manga. Like, you know, we might get a few. They're not gonna change, like, you know, obviously. But in terms of like, you know what I'm talking about. In terms of that vibe, I don't think we're gonna get too many of those. But I do like, especially the Shokugeki no Sanji, because that this chapter was really good. I think all of them so far have been pre-time skip, but this one took place right after they saved Alabasta.
Yeah.
And they're at the feast in the manga that they had at Cobra's palace, at Vivi's like house. And they're like, the premise is that they called all the chefs from all these restaurants across Alabasta and Alabarna to come to the capital to cook this feast for the Straw Hats, their saviors. And Luffy is eating so much that the chefs can't keep up. And like, the chefs, there was some crash that happened on the trade route that they were going, that they're not going to make it in time. And so the head chef is like busting her butt, and Sanji comes in and was like, yo, like, you know, I was, because I'm pretty sure he was like I'm pretty sure he was like the sous chef, quote unquote, like the second in command chef of Zeph's thing.
I believe so.
But he explains in the manga like, oh, like I've done all the jobs. Like use me as like a busboy, prep boy. Like use me as whatever you need. And like the entire chapter is just him. Like it's just so Sanji. And I think this chapter made me realize like the great like the thing that people just fail to realize or just purposefully omit from the Sanji and Zoro like debate, quote unquote, is because they're like, oh, like Sanji's stronger than Zoro. Oh, Zoro's strong. It's like Sanji doesn't want to be strong. He doesn't want to be the best. Like he's literally there just to help the homies. And he was like, yo, like, yeah, we love to see him, but his goal isn't to be like, it's not even to be the greatest chef in the world, which is like wild. He's just like, yo, I just want to find the all blue. Like, I just want to find all of the ingredients in the world so I can cook hype dishes for the homies. And
that's
like,
all he wants.
Damn. But, yeah, no, this chapter, if you haven't read it, this chapter was good, but, the author of, or the artist for Shokugeki no Soma, I feel like this, like he gets Sanji, and this is probably the reason why Oda like signed off on this, was because he probably showed Oda what it was and was like, yeah, no, you get it, like you understand Sanji, because it's so good for a Sanji enjoyer, a Chad Sanji enjoyer like myself.
I don't know about Chad, but go off, okay.
But go off, King.
We ain't giving you that many rights.
I tried, and no one could take that from me. But yeah, no, it was really good. I've liked all of them. I still to this day, like I read this, I can't get over the second chapter where, spoilers, Zoro lets Sanji use one of his swords to cut this fish, and it's not just any of his swords. He lets him use the Wado Ichimonji, like his most precious sword, and he trusts him to use it to slice open this like really rare fish, and he makes like the most delicious sashimi. And yeah, it's just good,
dude. I'm so glad. I hope that there's like, I know it's like hard to say like, oh, like I hope we get like more projects like this, because it doesn't necessarily fit in all cases. But what I really want to see is more of the anime. Like, the anime is kind of not super accessible. Living in Japan without a TV, why do I not have a TV? Not going to get into it. But
I think we've actually gotten into it on another episode.
That sounds very likely, because it is something I do get heated about often. But like it's not available to me. So when I do go back to the United States, I am gonna be anime boys again.
Anime boys. You're about to go fucking ham.
It's gonna be exciting. Like, every clip that I've seen on Twitter about this arc and how the art has gone insane.
It has been so good. It's all art direction, and it's so good. Even this most recent episode that happened was like, it was obviously less than production wise than the previous episode, which was Queen's like the introduction of the Toby Robo.
Right.
That scene was like insanely well funded and produced. Like, that whole episode
crazy good.
Was just ridiculous. I was actually I was with some friends in Orlando, and they hadn't seen Black Widow, so we were gonna watch Black Widow, and the friend whose house we were staying at came into the room, and it was like, hey, Black Widow looks different than I remembered, because we were watching the new episode of One Piece with the music video part. We were like, hey! But no, the anime is insane right now, One Piece. And even like this current episode, which it was, I feel bad saying like it was obviously worse like than the the Toby Ropo episode, but even being worse, it was like just the changes they've made to the anime in general. It's like the best it's ever been. The One Piece anime, it's so good.
It's really exciting to hear that, honestly, because like it's the unfortunate thing of having the series be as long as it is. Like even the manga itself was like, I wouldn't say rough around the edges, but like it had a certain like character style that wouldn't necessarily fly anymore, to the point where like people still are like, Oda doesn't know how to draw women whatsoever. When like there's like very few instances where Oda decides to just fucking flex and being like, yeah, I actually know how to draw and paint.
Yeah, Oda's one of the, he is, if I could describe Oda on drawing characters like that, to me, it's similar to that panel from that Spider-Man comic where he's like, with your technology, you could cure cancer. He's like, yes, Spider-Man, but I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs. It's like, oh no, with your artistic ability, you could draw like anything. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to draw anything. I want to draw big tits.
I want to objectify women.
Yeah.
Dude, what
I don't want to draw that. I want to draw dinosaurs. Like
absolute actual madman.
Yeah. But oh Jesus. Yeah, the anime it's so good right now. I'm loving it. I hope like the anime is doing good, and Oda and like the editors, they've all pretty much said like, oh, like the anime is sort of like, the anime now is acting as sort of like a supplementary like device to the manga, because there's certain things that he just can't get to, or maybe like doesn't want to expand on in the manga, but he's like, oh, like the Sanji fight with Page One, for instance. Like Oda was like, yeah, like, he fights and I showed what I wanted to show in the manga and that was it. He's like, but I'm giving the anime team like full reign to expand on those moments. And so I'm assuming like a lot of the different fights that we're going to see, and even like small moments, like the Toby Ropo episode, the moment where all of the Straw Hats, they're like about to toast, and then they're like about to do a toast for Jinbei joining, and then they're like, hey, like we haven't actually finished our job here. Like, let's wait until we defeat Kaido. And then all of us, including the samurai, can share in a giant toast. And then they like slam their cups down. That moment was like, from what I remember in the manga, like 2 panels at the end of the chapter. And then in the episode, they went like all out, and the animation was so gorgeous and like, oh god, it's so good.
Dude, I'm jealous. I'm gonna go back to America faster now.
Oh god. But no, yeah, I like you said, it feels weird being like, I want more, because I don't want to be like, I'm not like entitled to it. Like I deserve more of this. Obviously not, but hey, if we can get more of it, like the Ace novels were good stuff. I hope at some point we get official translations of the Ace novel.
It's not on Viz?
No, I'm trying to think of the word. I own both of the Ace volumes, the novels, but Boichi did a manga.
You're right.
Novelization would be turning something into a novel. So
Mangadization?
Mangadization, yeah. I hope we get a translation of that, because I've seen some of the artwork from that, and dude, Jinbei is ripped.
I remember that. It's so sick.
Jinbei is ripped and hot. It's like, it's so good, and I want it. But no, I think back to, because some of the other series have done stuff like that, and they've gotten really good reception. Like, I know, surprisingly, like the Naruto novels had good, they had fairly good reception. They were even turned into like some anime specials. Like they made anime versions of the novelizations.
Yeah,
which was cool.
the a lot of the Hinata stuff like comes from the novelizations, right?
Yeah. There was like a book about there was a book I think about Hinata. There was one about Kakashi and Gai Sensei with Asuma's child.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was one about Sasuke, like what he did after the storyline or after the ending, chapter 700 or whatever. And those, like the anime for them was like they made an anime version of those and it was really good. But even like the Bleach novels, I've heard really good things about the Bleach novels. Like it's just like Tite Kubo was like, yeah, just these characters that are cool. How about you just learn everything about them? And I'm like, dude, hell yeah. Dude. So case in point, I'm a sucker for any sort of stuff like that.
Dude, I like, it's the kind of thing where like there is the fine line, because with the Ace novels, with Shokugeki no Sanji, it's very clearly not required reading. It's for fans, by fans. Whereas, like, comic books nowadays, you can make the argument that, like, there's so much it's hard to start, or even, like, if you are starting, like, one specific, like, storyline, you have to, like, jump a lot from serialization to serialization to get, like, a lot of context, and depending on the type of reader you are, like, that might be disappointing. So, like I said, it's a fine line.
Yeah, I definitely don't want it to be turned into like a big like Marvel Comics event where like, oh, like in the next chapter of One Piece, like Gin comes back and he's talking to Zoro as if like they've been talking for years, and then it's like a little asterisk at the bottom of the page. It's like, oh, like to see how and why Gin came back, you have to read Gin's manga volume 2 chapter 7. It's like, no, I don't. I'm reading Civil War. I want the whole story of Civil War in my Civil War comic that I bought titled Civil War. I don't want to read Spider-Man,
if you get like an anthology.
Volume 78. Yeah, exactly.
Dude.
I own one of the anthologies for like, I think I own one of the Civil War books, and they dead ass do that. Like there's a page that just has one of those things in there where it's like, oh, like read this chapter of this series to find out what he's talking about. It's like, dog, like I don't know. I hate that. That's like the one thing. I mean, I think we've talked about it before, but it's been talked about online a lot. Like, people like all these like comic book, like these Marvel comics, like the people that work at like in the comic book industry. They're like, because manga is like super like rising in popularity, and they're pulling like a Netflix. Like, well, we don't get why it's. Or like the cable networks to like Netflix. They're like, we don't get, like, they're just being stupid. And it's like, dog, like everything in a manga, like when I pick up Shonen Jump and I read One Piece, like it's easy to follow. I'm getting that. Whenever Marvel Comics announces or DC announces like a big world event, it's like, it's a hassle to follow, and it shouldn't be. It's like, oh, like I want to read your world event, but like, to get the full scope of the story, I have to read every comic, and maybe there's a character I don't like.
Dude, it's just like, it's so fucking much. Like, I remember trying to get into Deadpool, and for a while, I wasn't so keen on the idea of like Cable and Deadpool, because like Cable, like I said, I was just getting into it, so I wasn't like really sure who he was, and like when it came around to the second time that they show up as like a unit, it's just reverse. It's Deadpool and Cable. I don't remember the title, but like there's like the old Cable and Deadpool, and then there's like more recent, like in the last 10 years, Cable and Deadpool. And like reading through that was a good experience because it was an insulated thing. There were like other people from other shit, but I didn't have to fucking pick up the Incredible Hulk issue 76 to get context as to why someone is somewhere else.
Yeah. And that's like, I don't know. Like, I like the idea of these big world events.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like you said, like, it is the fine line. Like, I would like these world events if, like, the random spin-off of, like, Spider-Man in Civil War was, like, not required reading for the actual Civil War storyline, but, like, you still get to know what happens to him in his storyline. And when he appears in the main Civil War storyline, like, you get the full context just by reading that main story. Like, you don't have to, like, go back and forth.
Very weird, like, what I'm about to say. So,
here it comes.
I just want to preface what this is. Put on your fucking seatbelt. But
Is the Pfizer talking?
it's a bit of the Pfizer talking. I'm pretty sure I'm hitting a slight bit more of a fever.
They're going supernova.
Wreck-It Ralph is the ideal.
No!
Yeah, hear me out.
You dead ass brought up Wreck-It Ralph on our
Hey,
One Piece podcast. Continue.
So, when you watch Wreck-It Ralph, you don't necessarily need any context to anything. All of these references are going, like, Sonic shows up, you know, for the people who know Sonic, there's, like, the chili dog shit. Sick. Like, you know, there's fucking...
When Sonic shows up, the movie pauses and says, to understand this joke, you have to play World 7 Act 2 of Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, like, could you imagine? That would be some fucking shit. But, like, I don't know. I don't have a mortgage. Like, I don't know what Q*bert is. But Q*bert's, like, an integral character in... Not integral, but, like, quite a persistent character in Wreck-It Ralph. But I don't need to fucking know who he is or where he came from. You know, it kind of puts you in a spot where you think Q*bert's exclusive to Wreck-It Ralph and not an arcade game that predates it by 30 years. But honestly kind of trivial in comparison to what John was saying, where it was like, could you imagine if Wreck-It Ralph had an Oda box for every single speaking role?
Yo.
That would be so cumbersome.
Fucking Q*bert, one of the 4 emperors of the arcade.
Dude, just with the fucking scene where Ralph goes to, like, villain therapy.
That would be like the Reverie.
Quite literally, every time it goes to another person, Oda box. And like, it would be like name, franchise, parenthetical year. And like, it would be so fucking annoying. But it's not important, right? And it doesn't need to be important. The problem with comics, to me, is that the whole crossover thing is, like, made to be important. Is it cool to a certain degree? Yeah. But, like, it could also be very hit or miss. Not everyone's gonna like the rest of the fucking roster, you know? Like,
yeah.
When I go home, I'm gonna pick up it's like a limited series by author N.K. Jemisin, that she's doing a Green Lantern. But before I pick it up, I'm gonna, like, look into it and make sure that, like, it's called Far Sector. I'm gonna look into it and make sure that there's, like, no overlap, because I'm interested in her writing, not really even the Green Lantern Corps or anything else.
Yeah.
And if anything is like forced upon me, I really don't give a shit about DC in any capacity. So like I might just be fucking out of there. Sorry, NK.
Yeah. That's another thing too that could get kind of dicey. And I'm not like super into comics, but I'm sure that it's happened where like you said, if there's an author of a story and then they reference something that happened in another series by another author, like I can assume, like, you know, I know that they work at Marvel or DC and they would have like character sheets, like, okay, the character, you know, has to act this way, but like even with that, you can tell when somebody writes a character differently.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely seen, you know, I've read my fair share of Spider-Man, and there are wildly different, minute details to Peter Parker that every author sort of injects, and it's like... I mean,
shit, dude, Batman is a good example. Bringing that up to loop it back into One Piece later.
Oh, yeah.
But Batman's a great fucking example, because, like, Dark Knight Batman is completely fucking different to Killing Joke Batman, to Adam West Batman, to fucking Batman Beyond Batman. They're all completely fucking different characters with different damn philosophies. Because, like, these stories are from authors trying to tell different fucking things. They're trying to create different worlds within Gotham, using Batman as a lens. That's understandable, but like it, because there's like the crossing of the streams, if I'm picking up something that's like unrelated to Dark Knight Batman and I don't want anything to do with Dark Knight Batman, but it's interjected in, like it could be a turnoff.
Yeah. It's yeah, I don't like, look, the Ghostbusters were wrong. I don't like crossing the streams. We don't have to cross the streams. We can leave the streams be. One Piece, and not, they're doing it good. Oda, the streams exist, but there's none of it's required reading for the main story, and so we're chilling. I don't have to worry about any of that.
Speaking of the One Piece connection, though.
Yeah, speaking of Batman,
get fucked.
Yeah, get dunked on, asshole. What's the number? I think it's like 49 million or something like that. 49,000. I don't know.
Have to
One Piece
Twitter. Give me a sec.
Yeah, One Piece outsold Batman as it is now the second largest, the second best-selling comic series in the world behind Superman now. And oh baby, I'm hyped for that. I like that a lot.
It'll take a while to topple Superman, cause
Superman was at like a crazy number, if I remember correctly.
Like it's a bit of an order of magnitude different, but hey, we got 5 more years. And that's 5 more years to proselytize, baby.
Yes. 5 more years. 5 more years for Superman to become racist, and then we get on top.
Dude, I feel like there's probably a fucking storyline like that. Like, already.
Yeah. What? Oh, he's evil and injustice. So maybe. I'll lower the bar. If he says any sort of microaggression towards any other character, I'll take that as Superman's done. Superman no more.
See, I wanna do that too, but I watched a video today that was like very convincing as to like, hey, Superman's like kind of chill actually.
Oh, is it by Cosmonaut Variety Hour?
No, actually, I don't know who the fuck that is. Thought Slime, internet.
Oh, okay.
Lefto, like, Thought Slime stuff varies a lot when it comes to like if it's like more supposed to be funny, if it's more supposed to be analytical of left-leaning or right-leaning ideals, etc. If it's like educational or not, like he's got a huge fucking variety. But like the most recent video they did was about the new Superman and Lois CW show.
Oh yeah, it's like is it the cartoon or is it a live action one?
Live action.
Okay.
Talking about that and how it's like a really good it has problems, but it's a really good example of what makes Superman great. Cause like everyone and their mother can regurgitate like talking points of like, oh, Superman is so godlike, that makes him so like uninteresting or this and that.
Yeah.
But like apparently according to this video, like the show does a really good job of just being like Superman's a guy who just kind of wants to do good just in general.
Yeah, there's a the video this guy Cosmonaut he made a video talking about the what was it? He was talking about the original the Zack Snyder Superman.
Yeah.
The original one. Man of Steel. And he blames Man of Steel, or he basically blames like Hollywood and their constant depiction of Superman as like just ruining the character for like everybody, because he's like Zack Snyder fucking doesn't know how to write Superman, and he's like stupid. And he's like, and you know, the other movies portrayed Superman as just like, oh, he could, you know, they're real campy, but like, oh, he could just do anything. And it's like, and in the comics, like, Superman's like, he doesn't have this like god complex like in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Like, he doesn't think he's like, you know, he doesn't even like arguably like his powers, but he knows that he has them, and he's just a dude that's just trying to do good. He's just a country boy that wants to just fit in.
Yeah, he's a small town boy who wants to keep that small town vibe and just like make everyone's lives a little bit easier if he can.
Yeah. And it's like you see Man of Steel and he's like, or you see Man of Steel and then Batman versus Superman, and you just see him just destroying everything around him, and I'm like, oh, this is not Superman. This is...
Yeah. Though I feel the comic community has some part to blame. The dude bro aspect of the community that sits there all like, oh, who would win, Superman or Batman with prep time? Or Goku.
Who would win in a 3-way brawl between Superman, Goku, or Kevin McAllister?
Like we're memeing
with prep time.
We're memeing, and that shit's fun memeing. But like, you know, some people,
there's people that
by and large, and it happens in the fucking anime community. Like, that's why fucking Goku's up there too. Like, you know, we are not immune to this. But like, it's a fucking problem, because then it becomes like the cultural consciousness like ideal. It becomes the platonic ideal of Superman. When you think of Superman, the first thing that comes to your brain is like, who would win, Superman or blank?
Superman or blank, yeah. Jesus. I guess we can end it here after this, because I googled Kevin McAllister because I just wanted to see, and I think I found the answer to your question. I think Superman might win, because Google says, did Kevin McAllister die? And I click the arrow to show me more, and it says he also appeared on TV shows, whatever. Sadly, he died of a heart attack in 2017 at the age of 71.
According to what lore?
I don't know. But I don't think it's talking. I don't think Google gave me. I think it's because I know that Macaulay Culkin is not 71 and not dead. So I don't know who this article is talking about.
Right. Like, I don't think Red Letter Media has access to Macaulay Culkin's corpse.
Yeah. I don't think they've weakened and burning him up to to appear in their videos
Just for the clout.
Oh God. Just for the clout, Jesus. The ultimate form of clout chasing.
Now allow us to do our form of clout chasing. Unfortunately, we do not have any access to B or A-list celebrity corpses. Jesus.
Yes.
So instead, we must do as the normies do and tell you that our episodes go up every single week on Monday mornings, I think. Yes.
Every Monday following the official release.
They go out. They first go to parameciafancast.libsyn.com. You could get the direct download from there, no judgment or anything. If that's how you like to do, that's how you like to do. Some people manage their own media service and shit. But if you want to take the easy way out, any podcatcher, all of them, you know which ones, because you're probably listening to us through it. If you're not, if this is on YouTube, you can go to your Google Plays, your Apple Podcasts, your Spotifys, your iHeartRadios, all of those. We're on everything. If we're not on it, tell us. Then we'll be on it. We promise.
We'll nip that in the butt real quick.
That's a Paramecia Fancast guarantee.
But check us out on anything that has the ability to comment and or rate. Please do so. That helps out way more than you would probably think. And that goes for any of your favorite content creators online. Liking, commenting, engaging with them, even like we've memed before, and it works, even if it's something stupid. Just doing that helps out so much. The algorithm stays fed and happy, and it pushes us out and rewards us for your offerings.
You feed the algorithm. We get more people yelling at us about Yamato being actually a woman. Oops.
Oops. Nice.